Good evening aspirants, welcome to Daily News Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 25th April 2024. Displayed here are the list of topics we are going to see today. Now let us get into the discussion. Let us discuss the previous year prelims question. Look at this question, it is from Prelims 2022. Consider the following states: Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Tripura. How many of the above are generally known as tea producing states? Before we get into the discussion, let us try to understand the basics about tea plantation and India's tea production statistics. Firstly, with regard to condition for tea plantation, the tea plant grows best in tropical and subtropical climate. Here the tropical climate denotes a region which stretches from the geographic zone of equator to the Tropic of Cancer. Most importantly, the tea requires a warm, moist and frost-free climate for its growth. The temperature that suits tea cultivation is around 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. The tea requires an annual rainfall that must be in the range of 150 to 250 cm. The rainfall must be evenly distributed over the year to ensure continuous growth of tender leaves. Now coming to the soil conditions that are required for tea cultivation. The tea requires deep, fertile, well-drained soil which must be rich in humus and organic matter. So this is why tea is mainly grown in gently rolling topography in uplands. Also note that although India is the second largest producer of tea in the world, the exports from India are quite low. See, India is only the fourth largest tea exporter. Now coming back to the question. Now let us see the tea producing states in India. With regard to Andhra Pradesh tea plantation, it is one of the largest tea producing states in India. Anandagiri Hills in Visakhapatnam district is known for tea plantation. Kerala is also a significant tea producing state in India. It has well-known tea plantations located in Western Ghats, especially in Idukki and Wayanad districts. The tea production in Himachal Pradesh is not as extensive as in some other states. The areas like Kangra and Mandi have tea plantation. The Kangra tea is known for its quality. If you look at Tripura, it is one of the smaller tea producing states in northeastern region. It has long history of tea production. Therefore, the correct answer is all four states. So with this, let us conclude this discussion and move to the next topic. Now let us discuss another previous year question. This was asked in 2019 prelims. In which of the following relief sculpture inscriptions is Rania Ashoka mentioned along with the portrait of Ashoka? See, Ashoka is one of the favorite topics for UPSC. For instance, there is also a question asked in 2020. So let us learn important Ashoka edicts for upcoming prelims. See, Ashoka edicts represent a series of inscriptions on pillars, rocks and other surfaces. They form one of the earliest and most significant source of information about Mauryan Empire. So these edicts provide deep insights into his empire, his policies and his devotion to Buddhism. Note that Ashoka's edicts were written in variety of languages: Prakrit, Greek and Aramaic. They were inscribed using Brahmi and Kharosthi scripts. These edicts stretch a vast area from Afghanistan in the west to Bangladesh in the east. Now there were different types of edicts. Firstly, there were major rock edicts. These are 14 large inscriptions found across the Indian subcontinent. They cover various aspects of governance, ethics and morality. For instance, the first major rock edict prohibits animal slaughter and festival gatherings. The second rock edict promotes moral virtues like truthfulness. Then there are minor rock edicts. They are smaller than major rock edicts, and these edicts often focus on Ashoka's personal message to administrators and his people. It also emphasizes his own Buddhist belief and urges people to live a life of non-violence and respect for all living beings. Then there are pillar edicts. These are found on pillars erected across India, and these edicts highlight Ashoka's philosophical and ethical concerns. The most famous pillar edict is Lion Capital of Sarnath, which is also adopted as national emblem of India. Have a look at this map and note the important pillar edicts and the states in which they are present. Now coming back to the question, the correct answer is option A, Kanganahalli. With this, let us conclude the discussion and move to the next topic. Look at this article. This article highlights the heat wave conditions in north interior Tamil Nadu. The temperatures are soaring to 42 degrees Celsius in Erode. The Regional Meteorological Center warns of temperatures 2 to 4 degrees Celsius above normal rates. Moreover, it also states that the other parts of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry may experience temperatures of 35 to 38 degrees Celsius. So this heat wave condition is expected to persist until April 28, and this is the crux of the article given here. Let us understand about heat waves from our prelims exam perspective. See, a heat wave is a condition of high abnormal air temperature. To put it simply, during a heat wave, the air temperature is more than normal maximum temperature. The heat wave usually occurs when the temperature is very hot and compared to normal days expected temperature in the region. Now let us see the criteria for declaring a heat wave by Indian Meteorological Department. Firstly, the heat wave is considered if maximum temperature of station reaches at least 40 degrees Celsius or more. This is for plains, and for hilly regions it is at least 30 degrees Celsius. Moreover, Indian Meteorological Department also uses the following criteria to declare the occurrence of heat wave in a region. The heat wave, there should be a departure from normal 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius, and there is severe heat wave which is above 6.4 degrees Celsius. See, if the above criteria met at least in 2 stations in meteorological subdivision for at least 2 consecutive days, the heat wave occurrence is declared on the second day. So this is how heat wave is declared in a station. Now moving on to see the impact of heat waves. Firstly, the heat waves cause serious health issues like dehydration, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, etc. These types of health issues affect our financial resources. Secondly, the heat waves adversely affect the agricultural sector as it affects the irrigation system, crop yield and soil moisture. Thirdly, the heat wave is associated with high energy consumption. See, during heat waves, to keep ourselves cool, we need some extra electricity to operate air coolers. So this leads to high energy consumption and even results in power deficiency. So this is all about the discussion. Now let us move to the next news article. Now look at this article. Supreme Court of India is addressing the human-wildlife conflict in Assam Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. They were redrawing the sanctuary boundaries to accommodate both natural habitat, especially for the growing rhinoceros population, and the livelihood of marginalized community living within the sanctuary. So this is the crux of the article. With this background, let us revise about human-wildlife conflict for our prelims exam. Firstly, how does this conflict arise? See, human-wildlife conflict arises when human activities clash with wildlife. This leads to adverse outcomes for both parties. So this can happen through agriculture, urban development or natural resource extraction and encroaching on animal habitats, etc. Now what are the implications? See, firstly, there is economic losses. The farmers and livestock owners faces losses when animals destroy crops or kill livestock and impact their livelihood. Next, there is threat to human safety. Encounters with wild animals such as lions, tigers and bears can pose serious risk to human life and safety. Then there is ecological damage. The killing of predators by humans can disrupt ecological balances, leading to overpopulation of prey species and further environmental issues. Fourthly, there is conservation challenge. The conflicts can undermine the conservation efforts as the negative counters can lead to hostile attitudes towards wildlife protection. Then there is psychological impacts. The human-wildlife conflict can induce trauma, fear and anxiety among the marginalized people who have faced attacks or fear about the attacks. Now let us see some strategies to mitigate the human-animal conflict. Firstly, habitat management. Enhancing and protecting natural habitats and creating wildlife corridors can reduce wildlife's need to enter human-dominated areas. Secondly, there is crop protection measures. We should employ barriers, deterrents and diversifying crops that can help to safeguard agricultural output from wildlife. Thirdly, about early warning systems. The systems that can alert communities to the presence of nearby wildlife can help avert potential conflicts. Then there should be community engagement and education. Educating communities about wildlife behavior, the importance of conservation and conflict resolution can help for coexistence with human and wildlife. Lastly, there should be conflict resolution mechanism. Establishing dedicated teams for wildlife conflict can ensure quick and effective responses to emerging issues. Note that the government has been taking many measures to address human-wildlife conflict. Let us see some of them. Firstly, Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. This provides a legal framework for wildlife conservation, including habitat management, and it also prohibits hunting of several species. Then there is Biological Diversity Act of 2002. It ensures that India's effort in biodiversity conservation are in line with global commitments. Then coming to National Wildlife Action Plan. This aims to strengthen protected areas and focus on endangered species. It also regulates wildlife trade and promote wildlife research and public awareness. Then there is Project Tiger and Project Elephant. These are government initiatives that aim to provide safe havens and corridors for tigers and elephants and enhancing their conservation across the country. Lastly, about National Disaster Management Authority. It develops guidelines for integrating disaster prevention and mitigation into various development plans and projects. This also includes strategies for managing human-wildlife conflict. So these are the important steps taken by government. With this, let us conclude the discussion and move to the next news article. Look at this article from text and context page. It is about the National Clean Air Program. This program aims to reduce particulate matter pollution by 2026. The article states that despite provision of funds and guidelines, the implementation is very slow and uneven. So in this context, let us revise about Clean Air Program for Prelims exam. The NCAP is a comprehensive initiative launched by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in India in 2019. The program aims to tackle air pollution on national scale and improve the air quality in 131 cities across 24 states and union territories. These cities are known as non-attainment cities and million-plus cities. These are characterized by historically poor air quality levels that fail to meet the national ambient air quality standards. Now let us see some key aspects of this National Clean Air Program. Firstly, what are the goals and targets? See, the initial target was to reduce the concentration of particulate matter, that is PM10 and PM2.5 by 20% to 30% by the year 2024. Now the updated targets aims for up to 40% reduction in PM10 levels by 2026. Now what are the objectives of this program? See, this program aims to implement stringent measures to prevent, control and abate air pollution. It also tries to develop an effective and proficient ambient air quality monitoring network. It also helps to increase the public awareness and conduct capacity building initiatives. Now how does the government monitor the progress of this program? See, the program utilizes a portal called PRANA, that is Portal for Regulation of Air Pollution in Non-Attainment Cities. This will monitor the physical and financial status of clean air action plans, and PRANA also serves to inform the public about air quality management efforts taken under NCAP. Note that these are all some of the progress made under the program. With this, let us conclude the discussion and move to the next news article discussion. Look at this article. It talks about the obstacles and challenges in the implementation of Swachh Bharat mission. So with this backdrop, let us understand India's efforts in implementation of environmental policies with our mains answer writing approach. So this is a mains question. Analyze the effectiveness of government initiatives aimed at improving environmental conditions and living standards in India. This comes under GS paper 3. Now let us start answering the question. In the question, the directive word is analyze. Here we have to elaborate upon the positives and negative aspects of government initiatives. Our intro can be like this. The Indian government has implemented various initiatives to enhance environmental conditions and elevate living standards across the nation. Analyzing the effectiveness of these initiatives require a comprehensive assessment of their impact, both on environmental sustainability and socio-economic development. Now moving on to see the body part of the answer. We have to address the positives in several government initiatives and then move on to elaborate upon the challenges within those initiatives. Firstly, Swachh Bharat mission. This was launched in 2014. It aimed at achieving universal sanitation coverage and making India open defecation free. As of 2021, over 100 million household toilets have been constructed, which is significantly improving sanitation and reducing open defecation. This initiative has contributed to cleaner environment and reduced health risk associated with poor sanitation practices. Secondly, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchayi Yojana. This program focuses on improving water use efficiency in agriculture through the promotion of micro irrigation techniques. By 2020, over 11 million hectares of land were brought under micro irrigation, and this has led to water conservation and increased agricultural productivity. Thirdly, with regard to legislation and policy framework. See, there is National Clean Air Program, which aims to reduce the particulate matter pollution, and there is National Action Plan on Climate Change. This National Action Plan on Climate Change outlines strategies to address climate change impacts through mitigation and adaptation measures. Initiatives like National Solar Mission and National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture promote renewable energy and climate resilient agriculture. With respect to impact on environmental sustainability, there are initiatives addressing the renewable energy expansion. As India has made significant strides in renewable energy deployment, the renewable sources accounting for 36% of total installed capacity, schemes like Solar Park Scheme and Wind Energy Mission have accelerated the adoption of clean energy technologies. Afforestation initiative programs like Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority, which aims to increase forest cover and enhance carbon sequestration. Now we shall see the impact on socio-economic development. The rural electrification programs. The Saubhagya scheme aims to provide electricity access to all rural households. It has facilitated electricity connections to over 28 million households and improving the living standards and enabling socio-economic development in rural areas. Now we shall see the challenges and areas of improvement. Firstly, inadequate infrastructure. The poor infrastructure in rural areas hampers the implementation of sanitation and clean water projects. For example, the lack of sewage treatment plants in many cities leads to untreated wastewater which are polluting the rivers. Then there is limited resource and capacity. See, the government agencies often lack sufficient resources and manpower to enforce environmental regulations effectively. For example, the understaffed pollution control boards struggle to monitor and penalize industries which are violating the emission norms. Then there is policy implementation gaps. The inefficiency in policy formulation and implementation hinder the effectiveness of government initiatives. For example, despite ban on single-use plastics, their rampant use continues due to lack of enforcement and lack of viable alternatives. Then we should talk about the monitoring and evaluation mechanism. See, there is a need to strengthen monitoring and evaluation framework to assess the real impact of government initiatives. The robust data collection, analysis, and feedback mechanisms are essential for identifying gaps and refining strategies. So this is all about the body part of the answer. Now we have come to the conclusion part. See, the government initiatives aimed at improving environmental conditions and living standards in India have achieved significant milestones. Yet there are many challenges that should be addressed. While the schemes like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan have made commendable progress, the issues such as air pollution and inadequate health care remain an important concern. Addressing these challenges require a multi-stakeholder approach which involves stringent enforcement of regulations and enhanced public participation. So with this, let us conclude the answer. Now we have come to the prelims practice question discussion. Look at this question. This is also a previous year question. Climate and Clean Air Coalition to reduce short-lived climate pollutants is a unique initiative of G20. The CCAC focuses on methane, black carbon and hydrofluorocarbons. The Climate and Clean Air Coalition is a voluntary partnership of governments and intergovernmental organizations like UNEP, businesses, scientific institutions, etc. It is not an initiative of G20. So this statement is incorrect. The Climate and Clean Air Coalition focuses on methane, black carbon and hydrofluorocarbons. This is a correct statement. So the correct answer is option B, 2 only. Now look at this prelims practice question. Consider the following statements regarding human-animal conflict in India. Wildlife Protection Act 1972 provides a legal framework for managing human-wildlife conflict in India. Yes, this statement is correct. Project Tiger and Project Elephant are initiatives under Biological Diversity Act 2002 to address specific human-animal conflicts involving tiger and elephants. This statement is incorrect because Project Tiger and Project Elephant are not under Biological Diversity Act, but they are centrally sponsored schemes launched by Government of India. They do not come under any particular act. So the correct answer is option A, only one. And this is the mains question for you today. Interested aspirants can write the answer and post it in the comment section. With this, we have come to the end of the discussion. If you like the video, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Thank you.